Hello! Hello, hello. Hello everybody, this is Still Controls ABK. How's it going? How's it going? Hope y'all are doing well today. On this, jeez, what day is it? Wednesday? Time is a weird soup, so, you know. Hope everyone's doing well today. Yeah, let's go ahead and, switch to gameplay. Hey, got the cam on today. I didn't feel like green screening because, I don't know, I just didn't feel like it. And so yeah, you can see in the background, I've got some vinyl records to decorate the space. Yeah, I don't know, just felt like it. So, I mean, that's just, I didn't just feel like it, that's just where I keep my vinyl record player. So yeah. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get started here. Perfect. All right. So I don't even know what we're gonna be doing today, honestly. We're gonna do something, that's for sure. But I was just like, I wasn't really doing anything, and I didn't know really what to do with the rest of my time tonight. So I figured I might as well do some streaming with it. So yeah, that's what we're doing with the face cam today completely. So that was a promise I made. But yeah, I think what we'll do to start, I guess we're gonna do the terraforming. That's a big thing we can do. We can just chill, do some terraforming and stuff. I'm just gonna look at what we've got here. So, lots of so's and ums. I see someone is collecting player heads. All right. We have a lot of grass and stuff that was not originally meant for terraforming, but since we have it, might as well make use of it, right? That's my thought, at least. So we'll do that. I'm just gonna place it up there, and we'll figure out the next steps here. We'll start on the easy stuff right here. This will be easy to kind of get going. So we'll get the armor on. I'm just gonna put this in here for now. All right. Let's just go ahead and see, right? I think this has to come up like 2 blocks or something. At least, yeah. So at least like right here. I'm gonna get my torches out as well, because I feel like that will be helpful. So yeah, I don't know. Nice simple terraforming. I was talking about this the other day, right? About this sort of like more blending than, I guess it's still like, it is terraforming, right? But I don't think it's like, when people think of terraforming, they think more, or I feel like people think more about like you know, big landscapes and stuff. But some of my personal favorite terraforming projects are just the blending of terrain. You know, natural vanilla terrain and stuff. So yeah, that's what we'll do. And we'll just see how it looks, and then we'll, you know, we'll kind of pick it up piece by piece here. You know? But I want something simple. It doesn't stand out. you know, for this. I want the attention to be on like this giant pit, you know. I think that will be good. And I think what we'll do, right? I think what I'll guarantee, and we can just start with this, is we'll have at least one block of grass between the glass and the grass. Or the... I don't know. You know what I mean. There will be at least one block to transition the terrain. There we go. That's the words. You know, I'm looking at those chat heads as Vesper keeps logging in and out. And I honestly they look like plug faces. Which says a lot coming from me. Because I used to have a plug face back in season 4, season 5. I'm thinking like over here, especially over there, I feel we've got a lot of freedom with what we can do. Because I don't want to just, you know, one block down, over and down, you know, repeating. I feel like we want some interesting... We don't want, like, bland terrain, but we also don't want stunning terrain. We just want basic stuff. Basic rolling hills, basically. That's the goal. I feel like I'm peeking the mic, so I apologize to anyone who's listening. Maybe if I do that, maybe that'll help. I don't know. I don't know. I'll just put the logo right there. And we'll just, I don't know. I can turn it down though, I think, if it is a problem. So I'm gonna turn it down a little, because I'm gonna be talking at this volume. So let's go -4 dB and see what that does. Hello. Let's go -2. Hello. Okay, that's better, I think. Potentially, maybe. All right. About to get back to where we're starting here. Alrighty. I think this is like super simple, easy until we get to like over there, which is nice. A good way to kind of ease into what we need to do. The other thing that we're also going to need to do probably is double check for any dark spots after I get this all covered. Just in case, like there's a couple spots I think over there you can like kind of see, and like right there. So those will probably spawn some creepers or something, and then we'll have to deal with that. I think... There we go. So first transition. This is kind of like gentler at the moment. So let's do this. No, okay. I mean, yes, that's what we want to do, but we also want to keep this height. So right, and I do probably want to keep the rockets on me, so let's actually, and we don't need the torches yet. We don't need the torches just yet. We will. I think let's just kind of like feather out the terrain a little bit here. Nothing too crazy. We're gonna have to cut down some trees, I think, as well. So, all right. This will just be easier to replace. I think we might have to, like, this is where we'll have to like make up the slope a little bit. Just a little bit. Get over here. Sure, that's good. That's good. Then we'll come over here. And I think we can have like a 2-block drop or something here. You know? Like that. But then like obviously here's where we're gonna have to just like probably fill all, maybe not all of this, but a lot of this in to like here. Like this maybe. And then we'll bring this back out. I don't know. I'm just kind of like messing around and seeing what kind of works. What I think, you know, what fits the flow of what I'm doing here. And we're just kind of winging it. So yeah. Like that. Let's get this dirt block down here. Where are you? Right here. Ow. My face. Oh, okay. And then over here. It's easier if I just do this, break that. Get those off the hotbar. Yeah, like that. Sure. Oops. Not like that though. Mm, mm, mm. How are we liking this? Let's go over here, right where it matters. Hey, Bella, how's it going? Welcome, welcome to the stream. How are you? How are you? We're just chilling here. We're doing some terrain work on iSV, obviously, as you can tell by the Infinite Cherry Grove. Everyone's favorite Infinite Cherry Grove, the gaming district. Just don't ask the people who build games here, they disagree. Okay, how are you? I'm good, tired. Work was a long day, but you know, that's just work. But I'm you know, I'm good. I'm good. I didn't think I was gonna be streaming today, and I haven't built a. I told like I thought I was gonna be doing a schedule. Like I thought I was gonna be doing scheduled streams this month. I think I gotta push that to next month. Probably. Probably. I don't want to. You know. I don't want to commit to anything at the moment. So I haven't. I need to get like dates out and stuff for the events and things. But that's a later problem, that's not a now problem. So instead of thinking about dates and announcements and stuff, I am instead thinking about building. So yeah, still filling the time with something at least. I was like doing nothing. I was being like a complete couch potato, just watching some YouTube stuff, and I was just like, you know, I should probably actually do something with this time I've got right now. So yeah, I turned on the stream, got on the server. Gonna get this done. Having a set stream schedule is a big commitment. It really is. It really is. I'm just not in the place to do that at the moment. I wish I could. I do wish I could, but I can't. Not right now. So yeah, but yeah, I'm kind of just eyeballing, I'm just kind of blending the terrain and stuff here. I actually don't know how this is going to turn out. Because really I just want to, like, I don't want it to, I was saying earlier, I don't want to, the goal is to, is not to have the terrain stand out. The goal is to have the terrain blend in so that the thing that stands out is the arena proper. Which is like 99% built. I just need to get these trapdoors placed and then beds and stuff, and then it'll be good. But that's not a now problem. It's awesome, yeah. It's a great build. Sparky did a great job designing it, and the tinted glass actually like helps kind of build the effect. Obviously, I think if people are playing with full bright, they won't notice, right? But you know, with 40% brightness, looks lovely. Really does. I want this here. And then here. Like that. And this will turn into dirt eventually, so it's not that big of a deal. Just leave it as is. So I'm just going to be focusing on the shape. One. Drop that in there. Keep that there. Just put the golden apples. Okay. Should log in to do something, work on a map or something? I mean, probably if you want. If you don't have the energy, of course, you know. That's what I always tell myself, at least. What's a rill? What's rill doing here? What's rill doing here? Bella, do you know what rill's doing online? No kidding, kidding. Yeah, this works. Maybe think about her stream tonight. That's, I mean, again, I don't know real stream schedule. I thought she streamed on Sundays, and that was basically it in terms of iSV, I mean. But I guess I'm wrong. Which is probably a good thing to be wrong about. Okay, I want to actually look at this. This is something that no one's gonna see except for me, really, and anyone watching the stream. Swapped Wednesday to Sunday, but missed Sunday because of Super Bowl. Gotcha. Yeah, it's a shame that her. Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't think Real cares as much, obviously. You know, but probably not a good feeling in the household. I'm, of course, indifferent to the outcome of that Super Bowl. But I will say, from a pure entertainment perspective, it was fun to watch a... It was fun to watch the... Like, I don't know how much of the underdogs the Eagles were. Clearly not that much, because they won, and won convincingly. But it was fun to watch because everyone's like, oh, you know, they're just, the Chiefs are going to win again, you know? And it's nice to see that not happen. I don't know, you know, Dynasty, I feel like dynasties, I never like dynasties in sports. You know, it just gets too boring and stuff. Probably checking her ping. Oh, yeah, that's right. I know Real has... Sneaky like that. Vanish. Hiding from all of us. Let's go ahead. We've got the space for a nice large hill, so I'm gonna use it. There we go. So this will be a gentle rolling slope, I think. That is what we'll do. So we'll come here, 2, immediately go 3, back to 2, back to 3, go here, 3 a little bit. And then we'll go 4. Like that. Back to 3. Right, because a hill is gonna, like, the way that mounds work. I'm thinking physics now, right? That's important in Minecraft, right? I don't know why. I really don't know why, right? It's not, again, this is not even to be important. This is just to like help tie the build into the terrain so it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb. Yet I have to put all of my energy thinking about the proper way to do it. Here. Okay. And we're gonna have, yeah, I think we'll try and work into this natural terrain right here. We'll just stop right there for now, so I can get back over to this side. Working on the trade hall for Skizzlecraft Season 2, been obsessed with getting the terrain right. I mean, good terrain like helps. Like a build can be good no matter what terrain it's on. But definitely I agree, or I think that good terrain sells a build, right? You can have a mediocre build and like fantastic landscaping will immediately make that mediocre build, you know, above mediocre. So I personally think it's a very important factor into a build. Like, as an example, I think that Spawn on iSV this season worked really well into the terrain. I think Spawn last season looked great, but the terrain had to get built up around it and modified around it, and then because that is such a large project, it just never got finished. So I think last season was a great Spawn, but this season I think is better simply because it feels more complete, you know? So I can understand the obsession of getting it just right. Let's do that with a minute. So we're kind of almost merging into this hill a little bit here. This will be like a little bit of a shallow valley, I guess. Maybe like a path can come through here eventually. Well, probably not. I mean, we're at the end of the season. I don't know why I'm having these grandiose ideas for a gaming district that's not going to get any larger. It was honestly a big gaming district this season. Maybe a little too big. I didn't have that much say in that. That was a more admin-y side, and I just kind of like, yeah, sure, I guess, because I had no idea. I was just told to be basically in charge. Not in charge, but basically in charge. Which is not as fun as being in charge. I'll just let everyone know. It's really not what it's all chalked up to be. Speaking of in charge, I'm getting more responsibility at work, which is on one hand awesome, cool, kind of exciting, I guess, but also terrifying and nervous. Makes me nervous. Because then it means I get to be in charge of more things if they go wrong, which isn't fun as well. I'm gonna go ahead. I'll place a torch. I need to get a couple torches down, so we'll just eyeball it. Good enough. Most of the districts are fairly large. I mean, yes, that is true. I think, honestly, I kind of think that's true. I think it depends on the district. I think the seasonal districts were perfectly fine in size, considering the original intent of the season. And I mean, I guess it is the true intent of the season, was to be a multi-year season. And so a large district makes sense. Not for all the districts, but for seasonal districts for sure. And it would have made sense for gaming. Like, I just feel like, and it's something I've talked about on stream before. It's something I think this season, like, in a way, it ended 6 months in. You know, there was a lot of big things that wrapped up at the 6-month mark that normally take like the whole season to wrap up. And I think that kind of, at least to me, from my perspective, from what I saw, to me, I feel like that's been another contributing factor to why this season has felt so disconnected. It's not definitely just the multiverse, right? It's not just the multiverse. It's not just the /spawn/home. It's not just the super fast travel. It's also just how fast the season moved for what its original intent was. So I'm hoping that next season, maybe that's a learning that the team takes. I think I put that on my feedback form, and if I haven't, I've said it so many times that I can't remember. Spring could have been bigger. Yeah, spring could have been bigger. That's true. That's true. Spring was super successful. It was like the first big district. But then not true. Fall was also pretty successful. I was not able to really participate in fall. That's when I had my burnout hit me really hard. But from what I see when I go back to the district, I think that Feather and team did a great job with that district. I think it turned out really well. But yeah, spring could have definitely been larger. But I think it was like, that was more just based on like the great spot that Mags picked. I feel like, you know, it was a great spot, but it was also just a small spot. Just happened to be. Fall team did a fantastic job. Feather's always so organized, which I appreciate. Yeah. Feather does a really good job of being organized, that's for sure. Oh, it's ads. Ad time. Wish I can control. Oh well, I'll wait for ads to end. Although, Jam, I don't know if you're seeing the ads, but either way, I'll say hi now and I'll say hi after the ads. Wish I could contribute more, not too much of a builder. I can follow a schematic though. I think that is a lot of people, probably. Probably. I think now what I want to do is I want to go like shallow, like this. All right, ads are here. Here we go. I think ads are done. So I'll go back to responding to messages. Okay. Anyway, talking about districts and stuff and things and helping out. Wish I could contribute more, not just much of a builder. Can follow schematic though. yeah, schematics, I feel like that's a lot of people on the server, you know, is a lot of people kind of follow. I feel like a lot of, maybe afraid isn't the right, you know, this is, I think it's a skill thing, because I've definitely been there. I've definitely been there where it's like, man, I'm not good enough to do anything here, you know? I was helping out with, I mean, here's a perfect example. Impulse needed some people to help him out with his season 8 build. And he asked a couple, or I think he asked Rill, and Rill picked out a couple of people and picked out me as one of the people. And I'm like, I mean, I can try and help. And so I helped. I built the, it was the, what was it? It was the smokestack. That was my kind of contribution to the build. And I think it ended up being like one of the key factors of the build as a whole, which, you know, so I think it's a like, because this is the thing that part of the reason I'm running this event that I've got coming up for the Gaming District Skills Contest, right? Part of the reason I'm running it, and it was kind of something said by the staff, because I asked the follow-up question, I was like, can we see more, are we going to see more staff events? And it's like, well, you know, just give us ideas, which, I mean, far be me to be picky. I'm not really complaining or anything, but I do think a team of how big the staff is should be able to come up with more ideas. But I also understand that it's not as that easy, because I've been on the staff team, I know, but I've also been successful at planning events on the staff team that are unique, and so part of the reason I'm running this skills event thing for my stream is I want to show, like, it's not really challenging to do this stuff. It's time consuming, but it's, even if you only have 5 people show up, even if you only have a couple people show up, it's still worth it. It's still fun. People are still having fun on the server. It can still be a thing, right? And I feel like a lot of people are kind of held back by, like, oh, you know, I need to get so many people, or I need to get permission, or I need to do this, or I need to do that. And I feel like iSV can be a great showcase of, like, generally, like, hey, we got a bunch of awesome people who are really great at planning events and doing stuff, right? Because I think we do. You know, we look at Lightning Thief. That was just normal players before Fob and City became staff. Look at a bunch of other, I mean, I can think of past seasons, a bunch of other events. Back in season 5, there were a ton of different player events that were ran and stuff, and it's totally possible. I feel like the server has that capability, the players on the server. So I think it's just showing, like, I think it's a little bit of showing, like, you know, give it a shot, because the worst case is no one shows up and you still have a fun build. But I don't know why I went on that super long tangent. I kind of do. A little bit. But I building's not the same. building is also not the same. For sure. I have to go off of schematics sometimes, and, you know, it took a lot of effort to get the 2 builds that I have over there, and I was like, I'm not going to try and design 2 more arenas, so I had to get help with that for sure. Those who will enjoy it, it's worth it for them. Exactly. My thought, I'm very vocal about what I think is what I think. I mean, I can't help it. You know, I was on the mod team for so long. I was on the staff for so long. It's just ingrained in me at this point. As much as I try not to care and try not to give this input, because I'm sure the other staff hate it. But I really feel like the best way to help this community, let's assume nothing changes next season. The best way to help the community grow is to run more events. It doesn't really matter. Like, oh my gosh, we're running too many events in 1 month. It's like, people are going to want to do different things. Some people don't, you know, some people are going to want to do, you know, some people are going to want to do building contests. Some people are going to want to do the community week. Some people are going to want to do, just like PHP stuff, random PHP stuff that comes up. Some people are going to want to do these like gaming events and stuff, and you know, they have all their different reasons. So there's no, unless you have two very similar events, there shouldn't be a worry about running so many events as long as they're not presenting a unique reward. And maybe that's something else that might need to change, because I feel like that might be like the FOMO about it that people might have. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so many events and there's FOMO and I don't like it. Maybe then it's just the reward system needs to be like, you know, for those events, and maybe it's not a mod coin. And maybe I think there's a new system of stuff where there's something that's less than a mod coin. I haven't been around for a while. I've only recently come back in the last month or so. But I feel like just more stuff, you know, and I'm more than happy to help the team come up with those things. But I have the confidence that the current staff team, any new additions that come soon, rumor has it, I have full confidence that they will be able to come up with some fun ideas. They just need to have the confidence that no matter how many people show up, it's a success. Because I feel like that's the big problem. Not problem. Problem's not the right word. That's the wrong word. Bad context. That's the thing that's keeping, like, it's like that's like the thing that's like at the forefront of like why things aren't happening, in my humble opinion. You vocal? No way. I mean, you know, sometimes. I'm begging people to sign up for the roller coaster event appreciation stickers. That's it. Yes. Yeah, and so like you could do, right, I don't know what the redeem is for appreciation stickers, but it's like that way. It's like if there's a unique lore item, like for example, right, I have in here, right, one of my favorite items, I spent a mod coin to get it back because I lost it, was the lore axe, right? So like stuff like this, it's cool, it's awesome, but it's like that's going to cause FOMO. So if there's another way to do the same thing, then it's a currency, another currency, right? But I'm talking to the choir, so you know. Yeah. No redeem, just the lore item. Okay. Regardless of how many people show up, it's worth it. Yeah, exactly. Did put in a session for an item like you're talking about that they can go in the mod shop and buy stuff. Yeah. Something like that. Like I feel like, and another thing, right? Another cool thing, right? With the addition of, I mean, it's kind of a little bit of gambling, a little bit of loot box, right? But with the addition of the trial chamber vaults, right? You can have like the key for a vault be some unique mod coin, not mod coin, but different item that gives you a random, like a special, like maybe the loot items there's more loot items that get added over time, or they like rotate in and out, and maybe there's like seasonal and monthly loot items and stuff. So if like there's something that someone really wants, they can use a mod shop token to open a loot box for a unique lore item, or not a unique lore item, for a lore item. I don't know, people really like loot boxes. This is coming from someone who played Overwatch, and I don't care about loot boxes personally. I think Overwatch did them great, so much so that they're bringing them back in Overwatch 2, which is hilarious, I think. I do think that people would actually enjoy that. There's definitely people who would be like, oh my gosh, I can't get all the things, you know? And I don't know why I gave them a rude voice, because that is a very valid opinion to have, to be like, I want to be able to get everything and now I can't. And maybe, you know, that's like a mod coin can get you those items, so right? That was a spider, wasn't it? That looked like a spider, yeah. We'll fix that later. Not now. Okay. Okay. But I think, yeah, so maybe I need to, like, here's what maybe this is what I do. I should talk about all of my ideas, right? All of my suggestions. I talk about them in the stream, link the YouTube VOD, and say, hey, here are the timestamps for my suggestions. Can you guys watch this and tell me what you think? I could totally do that. That would be funny. But I feel like the mod team would hate me even more for that. So I feel like I'm already on their, I feel like I'm already on the naughty list, you know? So I probably shouldn't push my luck. I don't have much of it left. We're doing prize boxes for those participating in the roller coaster event. I had someone do a special trophy and it turned out amazing. Ooh, fancy. I'm excited for that. I am personally very excited to hear that. That'll be super cool. I can't wait. All right, let's see how this turned out. Good, yeah, nothing too crazy. Let's check it out from up high. I mean, besides it being barren of any vegetation, it looks good. So nice. Call that a success. Okay. Now, let's go down below. Turn the light overlay on. Let's see what I missed. I like the idea of monthly challenges. Admittedly, I haven't done all of them, but I like that it mixes things up. Yeah, I personally, I like them. I never participate in them, but I like them because, again, it's another thing for the community to do. Even if, like, you know, only a couple people are participating, right? Those are very time intensive, though. And the other thing about the community challenges now is that they have, like, loot box rewards and stuff. So that's another super cool thing about them, right? That's another super cool thing. So, well, we can go ahead and get that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, right? I don't know. I like I said, I care too much about the server. I'm not even the staff anymore. I care too much. I don't get anything out of it except for enjoyment, which is valuable. And I spend so much time here. Not as much as I used to. So I guess it's fair that I care. But at the same time, it takes a lot of energy to care and have this much passion. And it's something I've learned more and more over time. Especially in today's day and age where everyone gets mad at everything on social media. It's just like, I don't have the energy for that. And I'm not even that old. I'm still in my 20s. And I feel like it's just so tiring to try and, like, keep up with the next thing that people are getting mad at for this or that or the other reason. It's not like they aren't valid to be mad about it. But sometimes it's just like you're overreacting, or, you know, it's not the worst thing in the world, or especially when it comes to, like, Minecraft and stuff. Ugh. The Minecraft community is really something special sometimes. And I feel like with iSV I'm participating in that right now. I feel like I'm just being a bit of a hypocrite and being like, gosh, people care too much, and then I'm sitting here like, well, blah blah blah. It's tiring. Ads in 40 seconds, yo. What are we, like, we're over halfway done. Just glad to be on the server. It's been great for me. Yeah, and that's the thing I should remember. But it's something, after 10 years, after 10 years, you start to take things for granted, and you're just like, well, I wish it would be better. Because I always wish it would be better, and I always think this server can be better. I still always think that this is the best server. I think this is the best server to play on. I'll take this as a stretch break, so we don't, there we go. A little bit more progress. But yeah, no, I best server for sure. I think this is the best server. I'm obviously extremely biased, and I have played on other servers. I've played on Titancraft for a little bit. I've played on a different server as well. Played on Movement SMP for a little bit. But yeah, iSV just has something different, and I know I'm biased. But I mean, other servers have their niche, but I think for an overall experience, and for a community-oriented experience, I think iSV is the best. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about the events and the community and the disconnectedness, is because I don't think iSV should lose that, But yeah. I say that all the time to real, iSV is the best Hermit SMP out there. Yeah. I think you can definitely caveat that, I think Titancraft has its place. I think they all have their place for their, obviously, if Tingo's your favorite creator, if you like the Hermit being on the server and interacting with the community a little more, then I honestly think Titancraft's probably better for that. I think Titancraft has other flaws though. But every server does, and iSV definitely does, right? Because it's like I think people like to say that iSV is very rules intensive compared to some of the other Hermit servers, which I'd say they can be accurate on that, for sure. I think that can be an accurate statement. Love rules. I'm a rules person. I mean, rules are good until they go too far. Rules are good until they go too far, which has happened before in past seasons. and it's not fun. It's not fun. When that happens. Because it's not fun to enforce the rules either. You know, the mods don't want to enforce the rules. The mods don't want to ban people. But when people consistently break certain rules or break certain, even unstated rules, well, it's like, oh, well, that's not a rule. Well, no, but the last rule is be respectful and be, you know, understand that this is a multiplayer server. Which means you're going to be limited on what you can and can't do. And some people don't have that, don't get that. I have some good friends on TC, didn't enjoy the server. Yeah. TC is really cool, but it's just not for me either. I always looked at them as boundaries instead of rules. The ones which have we have on this server make sense to me. Yeah, they're all very straightforward, right? There are some rules where, you know, and again, like villagers are one thing, but in season 6, and I'll say it, I disagreed with it at the time, but you know, obviously as a team, you enforce rules, you agree publicly. That's any team that you're on, no matter what you're doing, you always present as a unified team, as you should, which I think iSV does a great job of. But I think in season 6 we had a whole bunch of rules about you can only have this many of this mob, this many of this mob, this many of this mob. You know, every single mob had a certain limit. There were certain farms where you could only build a certain type of farm, and it's like when rules get to that point, they're no longer rules or guidelines, they are requirements. And that's, you know, in a game all about finding your own way to do stuff, it's not fun. You know, I feel like the teams learned from that, for sure. So yeah, definitely not fun when that happens. But I think we're well past that phase. Hey, zombie, what are you doing? What are you doing? Over here, okay. I should just go ahead and start torching here, I guess, a little bit. Then we'll probably want to get some frog lights out here too, and some moss, which we have some, but a lot of it got dug up with this project, so got to get some more to replace. Makes sense. There needs to be boundaries that you can express yourself in, but free reign for everyone would be chaos. Oh no, 100%. 100%. I'm definitely not arguing for anarchy. No, of course. Of course not. I mean, like Bella said, I helped build this community. I was a mod. I know I've said this so many times, I'm sure you already know, but I was a mod all the way back in like the 6 months into season 1. I was a mod on this server. So, I have a very, you know, part of the reason, it is part of the reason I am so passionate is because I did help really build the community, especially in season 5. Season 5 was a big turning point. It's where iSV really went from like small server, you know, not rules light, but it's just like the server was so small that you didn't need to have all these defined rules. It's where we went from like, you know, that sort of server with like 50 to 70 players whitelisted to where we are today. That transition started. That's where it happened. With season 5. And yeah, that was quite the transition period. for sure. Let's do that. ABK told Jam the story of how he became mod. Right, yes. So, this early days season 1, right? Early days season 1. The, like, talking, again, 6 months after, about. Server started, probably a little over 6 months. Server started in February of 2015, and it was around October, November, maybe it was September, August, September. And the one mod that we did have was absent completely. And there was, you know, there was a need for a mod, to say the least. There was a need. And so I was like, okay, well, how do we get Impulse's attention? And I was like, well, we had a Reddit set up for the server, because there was no Discord. We had a Reddit and a Skype. And so I went to the Reddit and I made a Reddit post like, hey, saying, hey, you know, we should get some more mods. Here's 3 people I think would be good mods. Here's a poll at strawpoll.com. Everyone go vote, and if there's another person, just put other and put their name down. And then a couple people said you on the Reddit post, and so then I think like a week later got a ping from Impulse on Skype saying, oh hey, by the way, welcome to the mod team, you're now a mod, welcome. So yeah. that's how I became a mod. There was no asking, there was no application, there was no show of interest. It was just a title granted to me, whether I wanted it or not. Voluntold, exactly. I was voluntold into the position. Yeah. And I don't regret, I mean, it was some of the best, most fun I've ever had, and still have. You know, even if I'm not staff, I still obviously play on the server, have a good time, have fun, make good friends here. You know, so good fun, good stuff. Let me turn that off. But yeah. But like season 5 was a big transition point, and it was something around season 5 I was basically solo mod for like 6 months. The rest of the mod team was AFK for, you know, valid reasons. It was COVID, and they probably were busy with other things too. And by probably mean they were. Or maybe some of them, you know, maybe they just also didn't care. Either or. I wouldn't be surprised. None of them are on the team anymore at this point. They're all gone. And I think that was when I realized, you know, man, we really need more structure, because I'm sitting here every day. I'm going to work. I'm getting pings. It hadn't gotten to the point where I was, you know, told to work from home, but I'm getting pings every day. Actually, no, this was pre-COVID as well. So getting pings at work every day on the Discord. I'm responding on my phone. Yeah, I'll get to it when I'm back. So I'd get home, I'd fill out, you know, I'd whitelist someone, and then like send them a bunch of messages saying, hey, yeah, here you go, here's this, here's that, blah blah blah. If you need a tour, you know, we've got a lot of nice people on the server, but if you're still need a tour and I'm online, just let me know, blah blah blah. And I would do that legitimately probably 5 days out of the 7 days of the week. We just had that many people joining. Yeah, it was something. So it's like definitely needed some more structure, especially when the server was growing so fast. And then season 6 started, and then the server grew extremely fast once season 6 started. Because everyone, it's still COVID, and then it's a new season. So, yeah. Fun times. Depending on how you define fun. Wish I'd known that sooner or less. Glad to be here now. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal. But it's there's a lot of different things, right? I don't have the same perspective I used to have, so I don't know what it's like on the team anymore. But a lot of things, I do kind of sit there and I'm like, well, here's how I expect things to play out. And like, I've been right too many times to the point where people are like, oh, you got an inside source, which I do. But I don't hear from that inside source as much as people think I do. But I don't know, I feel like generally the team has, like I said, they've really done a good job about, oh, I'm sure, wrong way, doesn't matter, I think the team's really, this season, over as the season has gone on, they've really come into their own finally. I feel like season 7, like I wasn't on the mod team in season 7. I was on the mod team for a little bit of season 7. It's a weird soup. Time's a weird soup. But yeah, I think that it took a little bit for people to really, for the team to really kind of like get to the point where they're like making decisions on their own and not like waiting to make decisions. That's something that I noticed this season a little bit, is like sometimes decisions would take months. You put in a feedback form request that should really take, a week, and it takes 3 months to get an answer, right? I get that, they're busy and stuff. I get it, but man, when that happens, when that happens. Oh, we're in ads. Oh no. Okay. We're getting really close. And if I bone meal, do I get the pink petals in the biome here? No idea. No idea if that's the case. So I guess we'll find out in a second here. Hmm. Oh, not where I want to be. I want to be over here. Get what you're saying, just to make sure that we continue to evolve in a positive direction. Exactly, exactly. You know, and they kind of talk about, I mean, another point from the town hall, right? I know that I figured there would be a like 50-50 split from the community on the slash spawn and, you know, teleport commands and stuff. But I really think, I do strongly think that if they do, like, they can stay. I'm not that passionate in terms of like, oh, you know, they need to go away and never come back. Part of me wishes that, you know. I think that's a little unreasonable, probably. As true as I think that statement is, I do think that the community and the server and the players would enjoy the server just as much. It doesn't take that long to travel, even without wings, you know. You know, even if you're just running through another tunnel that's not finished, it doesn't take that long. And you should have the time to be able to enjoy, to take that time, you know. If you don't have the time to walk in a game where a massive portion of the game is about traversal and exploration, then maybe you don't, maybe like you should play the game a little later, or it's a very selfish thing to say, I think. But I do think it's like genuinely true. I think that the best way to experience the game, single player or not, I mean multiplayer or not, is, you know, at normal travel speed, not at instant teleportation. I think it breaks the experience, you know, especially the multiplayer experience, the community experience. It just breaks it. So I think the people who were like, I forget who, but they were like saying that like, can we get the /home command? And it's like, well, then why are you even playing multiplayer, right? If you just want to get from A to B and build and whatever and not interact with anyone because you don't like interacting with people, then why are you on the server? You know, I get that it's probably still a better experience than single player, but it feels a little, I don't know. I will personally never understand it. But hey, I guess that's just me. I don't necessarily like think that, like, you know, if we have the slash spawn, it should be like any other MMO and have at least a 1 hour delay, you know, or it should cost a significant resource, you know, like it should be one of those two things. It should not just be a free 5-minute teleport to get everywhere. I think, and someone made the good point about slash spawn to get out of mining worlds. I think that's fair because mining worlds as a construct are just to help facilitate the server. That's what they've always been. You know, that was always their intention. So I think it's fair to be like, well, we should be able to use slash spawn to get out of the mining worlds because, you know, that's the one concession I feel like. But I feel like I don't know. I feel like I've given my thoughts, I guess. Nothing. I don't really know if I have any more constructive feedback on it other than I don't like the concept of too many teleports. Slash spawn has become such a crutch for me to get out of mining worlds easily. Yeah. No, that's true. I mean, but yeah, here's the thing. Like, even if I like to, I was thinking about it the other day, and I equate it especially to how I feel about villagers, because I feel the same way about villagers that I do about teleporting, is that I personally feel like villagers break a core mechanic of Minecraft in the sense of exploration, right? That is part of the reason we have mining worlds, is so like you can go explore and do all of these things. You can go to the different monuments and ruins and temples and chambers and whatnot, without impacting the actual server itself, and it allows everyone to get resources and stuff. But villagers bypass that core exploration mechanic so much that it personally, for me, breaks the game to the point where I've just stopped using. I mean, I'll still buy stuff from shops because there's no better alternative, And I feel like teleporting is very similar. It's not that there isn't an alternative to teleporting, and it's not that the server's competitive. But the best way I can currently explain it is that if you're not using /spawn to get around, and someone's asking for things, or someone's like, oh, can you first to get here do that? Not that that happens a lot anymore on the server. But it puts you at such a disadvantage to say, I'm not going to use /spawn, just don't use it, right? It puts you at such a disadvantage. Like, let's say if you're stocking a shop, right? Let's say you have a competitor who's stocking a shop, and they're using /spawn all the time, and you're like, I'm going to use /spawn every hour, right? And then it's just like, well, I'm not getting any sales because, I can't keep my shop stocked. It's a very extreme example, but I'm trying to think of a good way to explain it. But I do just feel like the teleporting is the same thing. It breaks a very core mechanic of the game. It breaks a very core mechanic of the game, and it breaks a very core experience on a multiplayer server, where the keyword is multiplayer. Like the experience should cater to a multiplayer experience. Not that you can't have any player and play on the server how you want, but I feel like allowing any play style is one thing, but catering to every play style is impossible and should not be done. You should cater to, and that's what I feel like this season has really done. It's catered to a single player experience. And you don't just run into people anymore. Last season, or every other season before this one, you could just run into people in the nether halls or at a district or something. And now you just don't run into anyone because, everyone's, I /spawn, I went to my base, I flew there in 15 seconds because that's how fast flying is. Or, I took the portal to get to the end of the hall, and then my base portal is here, and it only took me 5 seconds to get there. I get stuff from base, I go /spawn. I then immediately go to a seasonal district portal, and then I'm in the seasonal district immediately. I go to my build, I do my thing, and I'm like never interacting with anyone, right? It breaks the experience, in my opinion. I've also used to take shulkers of materials I've collected from map folks to the map world, flying back and forth to deliver large volumes of something. That is true, but I do still think it's part of the game. Because again, I think some of the best experiences I've had, and some of the best experiences other people have, is the random spontaneous moments of you run into someone in the hall, you crouch, and then they toss you an item and you get something, and then some fun little thing, or maybe it turns into a larger distraction, and then suddenly you're off in the gaming district playing a bunch of mini games and whatnot, or you're hanging out in VCs. Or you're not even hanging out in VCs necessarily, you're just hanging out, maybe you go look at their base and stuff, right? There are no spontaneous moments like that anymore on the server. The only time they happen is when you sit at spawn and wait for people who are then curious enough to stop and be like, huh, what's this person doing? You know, it doesn't just naturally happen like it used to. Hear what you're saying. Random people in the nether tunnels way more often last season. Exactly, yeah. Just seeing people, right? Like I'm on a like obviously I'm on a gaming district, right? So, but like if I'm just like going around, also we finished. Let's just take a look at our fine handiwork. Lovely stuff. I'll probably just bone meal it later. I could bone meal it now. One of the two. Let's get a couple torches. Oh, hey, buddy. But yeah, I think that's my point, is that I can understand people not wanting to interact with other people, and that's fine. You just don't interact with them. But if I'm playing on a multiplayer server, I expect to at least see people. At least be able to, like, you know, do the Minecraft high, you know? And that doesn't happen, you know? And because it just feels like we're catering to that, again, that single player experience. We should be catering to a multiplayer experience, and if people want to take advantage of those more convenient things, they shouldn't just be handed out. They should be time restricted. They should cost a resource. Maybe if it's something even as powerful as like /home, God forbid, if that gets through, you know, if it's something as powerful than that, I mean, that should cost mod coins with an S, you know? Like it should be just like in an MMO, it should cost a resource to be able to do things more conveniently. I think about RuneScape, I think about Elder Scrolls Online, I think about WoW, and it's like people grind because that's part of the game, and if people want to have an easy way, they pay real money, or they spend a whole bunch of in-game gold to do that. Because the whole point of the experience is to run into other people who are doing the same thing and to just hang out, you know? You know, I wonder how many people are like AFK on the server here. I wonder how many people are, which is not a problem, but it's like, you know, I'm not gonna, if I'm gonna sit here at spawn, this has turned into a rant now. I realize this has turned into a rant. And I was literally talking about the other day on stream, I was talking about like how I'm trying to be less passionate when I have these sorts of opinion talks and things, because I don't want it to sound like, oh, I know everything, I'm right, but it's passion. And I'm trying to like, I feel like that turns a lot of people off of like having a conversation, because I'm not trying to disagree with them. I do hear them, and I don't necessarily think that I have the best solution, but I feel extremely passionate, and I feel like just giving people another teleport is not the right solution to the disconnectedness that is clearly, like, to the point where they brought it up in the town hall. I thought that was something I was the only one feeling, but apparently not. So, you know, I think it's like, if that's clearly a big enough thing for them to mention in the town hall, then we shouldn't be facilitating things that break that experience even more, that make things feel more disconnected. Don't think you mean less passionate. I think your points of view are valid. I mean, they are. They 100% are. But in terms of having a useful conversation, they're not. It's not useful. It's not useful to be so passionate. It's not useful. Because people, and I've experienced it on the mod team, in work, in other places, if you are very passionate and long-winded and talking a lot, people will just shut down and just be like, okay, you know. and then they just won't register at that point. And then it's like, well, you know, I was actually having fun with this conversation. I wasn't trying to be rude about it, you know. That's how people generally take it. Right, so what do I do? I mean, let's get some bone meal, right? Let's go get some bone meal. We'll go bone meal the stuff and things. Over here, I'm gonna say it's kind of weird that the entrance to the tree is on the opposite side of the path. I do find that very strange. I'm sure there's an accidental or intentional reason for it. Where's just like, if I want a couple stacks of like bone meal? I don't want to necessarily run this because it's like, well, I'll just take that, that's fine. More than enough. Thought about that too, yeah. Yeah. Man, this is why I try not to talk about the server too much, is because I feel myself getting passionate. I feel the tension, you know. I try to avoid talking about the server stuff unless I'm in like a small group or something. All right, let's see. Oh, do we do? Okay. I feel like I need to just be a little better about this. Let's just go ahead and do... Okay. How is that looking? Oh, wrong button. Also wrong button. How are we looking? I know I don't have pure vanilla grass, but this... Alright. I feel like I definitely need... It's not going to be as pink, but it's still helping, so we'll keep doing it. I enjoy a good discussion, but I know what you mean. It's not for everyone. Yeah, exactly. Especially when you're having that discussion with, say, I don't know, the community lead, the head of the the team, and the head mod admin everything person. You know, then the passionate discussion probably gets very grating very quickly. Because I never mean, when I get passionate like that, I never mean for it to come across that way. But it, you know, I can't help myself. And I try. and I've gotten better over the years. Maybe still am. Maybe I still am. But I used to be, like, when I was very young, I was had very, like, black and white and right and wrong opinions. And I'd say I've swung the opposite direction and then come back a little bit. I feel like I'm a little more in the middle now. But the thing that hasn't left from that very, like, passion is the passion, and is the fervor and the energy that I put behind my opinions. That's still there. and sometimes I wish it wasn't. Sometimes I wish that I could just be a chill, mellow dude who does chill, mellow streams that people enjoy to listen to. Which I guess I am sometimes. So, you know. Alright. So, not as pink, still some pink. But I say a job well done on that. It feels set in. I'd say the only thing left is, like, final touches with maybe, like, doing a little bit of decorating on the edge, like a slab, and then getting the beds in, getting the trapdoors in, maybe cleaning the structure up a bit, which I think most of that's going to be Sparky's materials anyway, not mine. If anything, now it's going to be harder for me to figure out which direction is the right way to leave. But yeah. Alright, now I'm happy to say that we're done with this for now, and we'll come back to it at a later point. Maybe I should get a screenshot for the Discord channel. Let's do that. Get right up here. Bam. There we go. Perfect. Now it's this one. We're not gonna do this today. Today was just chill, relax, and chat, which is successful so far. This is gonna take brain power, and I don't want to use brain power. I've already used all of it today. So now what to do? I've been streaming not even for 2 hours. I'm gonna go to base. No. Well, yes, but spawn base. Ooh, what's this? This is new. I'm very curious. Alright, anyway. Let's put the kelp away. And then the other thing, okay, here's another thing. Here's another thing I want to do. I think even though I'm not a guide anymore, I think I'm still technically the lead person, the mayor of Sus. So I'll talk about an idea I have, and if I have time, I'll execute it. Not today, but a later idea. So an idea I've had. Because a big thing that, again, this was when I was still a guide. I think I was the only one who really cared and was passionate about this. Maybe that's not true. It's probably not fair to say, but it came across that way. But I feel like, again, the community was dead. Strong word, but I will be honest. Community was dead, and I was like, okay, what are ways that we can help bring the community back to life? Sustown had just recently lost their mayor. Oh, come on. Just missed it. And so I became mayor, and I was like, okay, well, it would be nice to get more people to, like, you know, come back to spawn a little bit and decorate it up. And so that's part of the reason Sus District has paths, is because I finally designed the paths for the district and got a majority, if not all of the paths laid, with help from Lulu and a couple of others, I think. And I think we've had a couple people like claim spots and stuff. I don't know if there's any building going on. Oh, it looks like, oh, this is cool. You know, like stuff like this. It's like, you know, fly around spawn. And then maybe that's what we'll do for the rest of the stream. This is a sniper, isn't it? Yeah, sniper nerd. Yeah. Fantastic. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about. Even if like no one, even if I'm not running into people, at least I'm like, oh, look at this cool thing someone built. You know, and that's like Spawn Town's the perfect example of like community, right? This is fantastic. Lovely. All right, anyway, so the idea I had, over here, we were talking about one of the ideas that I brought up to the team was, we were talking about community. It was me. It was my idea, and no one else liked it. But we were talking about community or neighborhood fairs, is what I called it. But like a flea market sort of thing, and not like it didn't need to be like an actual flea market where people selling things. But the idea was like to have a plot like this with a bunch of like smaller little areas that people could claim and build like little things like statues, or, you know, it depends on the district. You know, maybe some of them, you know, maybe it's like in the yacht shanty they build like a fishing trading village and stuff. And it's like here I was thinking like, oh, maybe this could be like I was for Sustown thinking like, because Sustown doesn't really have a thing, I was just thinking like general market or like an art show or something, right? And so the idea was to, one, terraform this plot, add a path that goes over here to that bridge, and or to like down under into this cave area and then back up to this path and to that bridge, build this bridge out, which I think, right, I think there's still, yeah, there is a path that technically leads here. This bridge just never got built, right? And so maybe this is something I do after, just to like help, you know, I think maybe that's what I'll do is like after my iSV Skills Challenge event is over, maybe this is the sort of stuff I'll focus on, is getting Sustown beautified, getting a beautification team together for Sustown, and just building things and stuff. I think that would be good. And then like maybe talk to some of the other neighborhood people and be like, hey, do you have any care if we do this or that in your place? No? Yes? Okay, cool. And then building cool stuff. So that's really what I want to do. That was my goal this season, and I do think I accomplished it generally. My goal this season was to build and interact more with the community, and the burnout break did not help with that. But overall, I still feel like did a good job with the 2 mini games, with this event I'm running, with being a guide in general, and like helping out and stuff, and just hanging out with the community and hosting the couple times that I hosted just the impromptu PvP fun, you know, all that sort of stuff. I feel like I overall achieved my goal. But I feel like I got like a B so far, and I got time to get an A, I think. So that's what we'll do. But I think right now let's just walk around spawn, right? Let's, again, chill and relax. I'm still uptight. I don't know why. I need to not be. So we're gonna walk around spawn and admire some builds if there's any new ones that I haven't seen yet, because I have seen a lot of these back from the Easter egg hunt, which was super fun. But yeah, it's like here, right? You can clearly see that there was a lot of plans and stuff here. And I feel like a lot of them must have happened, but it's like you can clearly see unfinished things and stuff. Got you all worked up, my bad. No, 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 I got myself worked up. I'm the one who brought up everything in the first place anyway. It's all good. It just happens anytime I talk about the server. I get the passion takes over a little bit. I can't help myself but share my ideas and my opinions about how I think the server could be even better, because it's great, but it could be better. Ooh, that's, speaking of new, that looks new. Let's take a look at this. It looks like the marbled steakhouse. I'm very curious. It definitely seems like this might be in progress still. Or permanently, potentially. Let's go take a look at this sign. Sparky. Ah, it's Sparky's place. Okay. Very nice. I do like it. Got a couple pig heads. Very cool, very cool. Very, like, open. That's why I was thinking, like, oh man, it feels very open. But now I feel like I just insulted the build. Not what I meant. Alright. Just keep on walking around, I guess. Let's see. So I think the blue... Yeah, this is the path to... I forget what this neighborhood's called. This neighborhood is actually one that developed really well as well. You see the spray bottle still there from Wandering Pranks. There's definitely still a lot of like open and stuff. I do feel like, you know, there was a lot of neighborhoods, you know. Maybe too many. I think too many neighborhoods with not enough people helping finish them. There was like, you know, only one guide set per neighborhood. And speaking from a solo guide running a project, who had run a project, it's not easy. It's nice to have at least one other person to back you up. And so I feel like that's probably, because I know they talked about how, like, you know, overall they didn't feel like neighborhoods were as successful as they could have been. And I agree, but I feel like the only reason it happened is because there was like, oh, let's do this, this, and this. There was just too much on the plate. What is this? This is a build. So many signs and stuff. Is this Random's place? I like this. This is cool. Very cool. Just flying around and seeing all these different things and stuff. There's a lot of fun stuff on the server here. Maybe, you know, we always, you know, if Impulse doesn't have a guide, he's gonna like squirrel off. Maybe we should just let Impulse squirrel off, you know? On one of his next streams, just like say, hey, why don't you go squirrel around spawn and have fun, and then we'll teleport you somewhere else to squirrel around. I don't think that'll happen, but it would be fun and funny to just watch him get lost consistently. Oh, caps. Oops. This place looks great. I mean, the stuff that's built here looks great, for sure. I love the... Oops, that's not what I meant. I don't even know what I pressed. Very cool builds all over the place. I like to call this place Yacht Club Games, because I never remember that it's called Yacht Shanty until now. But yeah, I love to call this place Yacht Club Games because I like Shovel Knight, and they're the developers slash producers that made Shovel Knight. It didn't help that some guys changed halfway through. I know that our neighborhood kind of fell off because of that. Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. It definitely didn't, like, rotations were always a thing. Like, that was always the plan. But it definitely didn't help, like, from what I know, because I joined the guide team right before season 8 started, but from what I know is there was a lot of last minute shakeup that came with the multi-server stuff. And I think like Ash talked about it a little bit. I think it came up in the town hall where it's like a lot of plans that were made with a single server in mind and not 3 servers. And so I feel like, I mean, neighborhoods are still just neighborhoods, but I feel like the same thing still applies there because suddenly there's more demand to have more people helping in other places across the server, which then takes them away from spawn. And then on top of that, we're rotating guides as well. And yeah. This is a cool build. This feels new. Yuzu. Great build. I love the cyberpunk aesthetic. Obviously still in progress, but this is fantastic. Love this build. I don't know how much you heard, Jam, but I was basically saying, yeah, I think a lot of plans got shook up when the multi-server, or because of multi-server, because that was a almost last minute decision with like a month before the server started. And so that shook up stuff for mods, which then inadvertently shook up stuff for guides on top of the rotations that were going to be happening in the, 6 months later. Neighborhoods and multi-server were a good experience, though. I think that there's a lot learned from it, for sure, yeah. I think multi-server is great. I just think that, right, leads to the disconnectedness and leads to the disconnectedness, the disconnected feeling, and also the I think the idea of things stalling out a little bit, Yeah. Right, well, I feel like we're just running around in circles chatting, which is fun and all, but now I don't have anything to do. And we've spent basically 2 hours streaming, and I think that's good. I think that's a good place to call it. Unless suddenly someone raids me, which I hope that doesn't happen, honestly, please. So instead we'll raid someone else. If anyone else is streaming. I think Riv might be streaming still, I don't know. Well, let's take a look. Click on this. And then view quick. Yeah, Riv is streaming, but I don't know for how much longer, so we're gonna raid before unmute site ban. Okay. Let's do that. Okay. So thank you all so much for watching. I do appreciate it. I'm tired. Let's do this raid. Click here. Click here. All right. Thank you, Jam. Appreciate it. Bye. Actually, wait. I haven't clicked raid yet. But anyway, sorry. Yeah, thanks for so much. Let's do the raid.